Because with computer assistance, there will be no smoking gun. I mean, you're not going to catch someone at the scene of the crime. You will have to some degree, just take your gut feeling.
So a cheater who,
like Nigalice, yeah, that got caught with his phone in the bathroom stall.
Yeah, with the bare minimum of care and nuance, and not being like a very blatant, phone in the bathroom type Rousis or Nigalice type cheater, then you're not going to get a smoking gun, as Vishy said.
Episode 11, Bobby, we made it.
We made it to episode 11.
We made it.
Almost we've surpassed the Fast and Furious series.
How many do they have?
9.
They have only 9, right?
Yeah, so we're doing better.
Good. We're on a roll.
And with a smaller budget.
This is the budget version, of course. This is basically what you will see whenever we don't have people traveling with us. Right now we're in St. Louis. I just got back from New York. What have you been doing this week? You celebrated the win in Title Tuesday. That was a good day for you.
I haven't been doing much, honestly. I haven't done much at all this week. It's been sort of busy, but not in a way that's interesting for anyone to hear about.
How come?
Well, it's like, the normal busyness of everyday life.
You're about to move, right?
I'm planning to move. But it's not really exciting to talk about, packed boxes and...
That's a big change though. I mean, moving always sucks.
I'm not too, it's sort of exciting too. It's a lot of work, but not as much work as I would expect, because I'm also clearing out a lot of stuff, trying to cleanse, trying to get rid of all the useless things that I don't need.
It almost feels like a new beginning, right, when you're moving?
Sometimes.
You're moving into a new apartment, new setup, new vibe. It's an interesting time of the year for sure. We don't have a lot of tournaments, but somehow it's still super busy. Like still a lot of events happening. We have the gala coming up at the beginning of December. After that, we do your move, and then we might actually go to LA. We still haven't made the clear plans yet. We're not 100% sure whether that's going to happen or not.
LA for the chess boxing.
Do you think we should do that? We should probably do that, huh?
It would be fun to see. There's Lawrence against Aman. Everyone knows about that one.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun to... We've kind of talked about it, who's the favorite. I still feel like Lawrence is a favorite in this one.
All right, so there's been a couple of announcements. And actually, you've met one of the participants very recently in Toronto.
Yeah,
Aman.
Aman Hambleton was there as a commentator.
He was doing push-ups. How did he look? How did his form look?
He's a generally young, healthy guy. I don't think he has any boxing experience, but he's doing some training.
Yeah.
I can't talk about who's doing more training. I don't know. We see videos and stuff, but who knows who's actually doing more boxing training. But I'd probably give Lawrence the edge for, one, I think rather important reason is that he's naturally bigger than Aman. So he's, Aman has to gain weight while Lawrence has to cut. So I don't think that Aman is gaining 10 pounds of muscle. So if he's gaining weight while Lawrence is cutting, it would suggest that maybe Lawrence will be in...
They're fighting at 185, right?
Which I think is a lower weight for Lawrence, and...
Definitely lower weight for Lawrence.
And seems rather high for Aman, because he's a bit of a...
But he's a tall guy.
Yeah, he's
like 6'1".
Something around that. I mean, I think they're around the same height, but he's a bit naturally... his frame is naturally a bit smaller than Lawrence. So... Lawrence cutting while Aman bulking is, it seems like maybe Lawrence's cardio might be more there for...
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I think Lawrence has been training for quite some time, actually. Even before they announced this fight, I think Lawrence was doing some training. So he was always interested in this chess boxing, or at least boxing avenue. And I think he actually did some commentary for chess boxing events as well. So he knows the ins and outs of those type of situations. Yeah, I have to give it. It's difficult.
On the other hand, Aman is a bit of a stronger chess player. He's a grandmaster. Lawrence is a national master. Lawrence is let's say around 2350. I don't know exactly his rating, but let's say around that.
Chess-wise, for sure, Aman is the favorite.
But Aman is 2500 plus. I don't know exactly his FIDE rating either, but he's a stronger player. But it might not make itself felt in so much as the boxing. Let's
How many
say
rounds do we have? Do we
I
have
don't know. I
3
don't even know
rounds
the
of
format.
boxing and 3 rounds of chess?
we should know the format. I have no idea what it is.
I want to say 3 rounds of boxing, 3 rounds of chess. So let's assume this is the situation. 3 rounds of boxing, 3 minutes each. For an amateur fight, I can tell you from experience, it's not easy. Like, it sounds like it's not a lot, but it's actually a lot. Under those bright lights, for sure, the cardio is going to play a huge part. Lawrence is looking good in his training videos. His form looks pretty decent. I've been listening to some of his podcasts. He was mentioning the fact that he's focusing on the fundamentals, so that's good. I've seen some videos of Aman. His form, it looks pretty shaky.
Yeah, I think this will really be about the boxing more so than the chess. I mean,
Right.
also once you're physically tired, your chest strength drops as well.
That's true.
That's another thing. Like, we're talking about, let's say, Lawrence versus Aman under normal tournament conditions, not after they've been, running around, they're winded,
Yeah.
and potentially getting punched. So we know Aman is a grandmaster, but that's different than being a grandmaster after you're exhausted and maybe you got hit in the face. I mean, for his sake, hopefully not.
Oh, people will get hit in the face. I mean, Lawrence is going to go headhunting, that's for
But
sure.
I assume that they're going to be they're both really pretty inexperienced. They're going to be relatively cautious, right? More defensive,
I'm not 100% sure.
maybe not.
I think I'm speaking on behalf of pretty much everyone here, but Aman, are you working for this fight? Are you training? We see nothing from you. It's always behind the scenes, coming out soon, and zero. And if you're taking this lightly, you're going to be in a world of pain, my friend. I'm out here grinding daily. Tired, not tired, I don't care. I'm getting beat up, I don't care. Show us what you're made of. The fans want to know how you're progressing. We're trying to make a fight here, mate. Alright? So let's see some content. Stop being a big wuss. Because we are the main event of this card. Alright?
What's up, Lawrence? Buddy, I'm here. Just want to let you know you're right. Not posting enough. But the thing is, when I say that behind the scenes footage is coming, it's coming vlog style. Real behind the scenes. Not grabbing a bunch of small pylons and setting them up in a school zone and recording 15 seconds for Twitter. So don't worry. Now, as for the training, I mean, buddy, I'm right here. I'm in McDonald's, all right? I'm ready to put in the hours. Because remember, the people have to know, I can't legally punch you in the face without gaining some weight first. So don't worry. I'm putting in my legwork, and I'll make sure to keep posting, keep you updated.
Aman will just be looking to survive in the boxing.
Aman definitely, I think, is going to be looking quite cautious. Lawrence, I think he's going to put a lot of emphasis on trying to take Aman out in the boxing. Because he knows in chess, Aman should definitely have the upper hand. So
Lawrence is also he's an optimistic person chess-wise as well.
that's true.
Like, I know him personally quite well, and he can be dangerous, especially in fast time controls. He can also, once he's tilted, that's where his main difficulties could lie. Like, he gets tilted, he gets very emotional, and it starts to be less about the objective factors and more about if he can control himself. So in that case we'll just see, because I don't know if tilt will play a role at all.
That's a big one, but there's another one that was just announced. It's the fight between Andrea Botez and Dina Belenkaya.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming up.
It's kind of funny. I heard about this in Toronto. Like, people were kind of speculating about it, but
why?
I don't
Why
know.
are they doing it?
They're like, so Dina is a very good chess player,
Yes.
and
She's
Andrea
around 2300.
Andrea is a good chess player, but not anywhere close in level.
Around
like,
1900. Yeah.
like a chasm in terms of skill.
That's big.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's a huge difference. Like, Dina's played Olympiads. She's played against top chess players. Andrea is a good chess player, but not even close to the same level. But from what I've heard, Andrea is like vastly superior as a fighter to Dina.
Really?
Like she actually has experience and is.
How come?
That's what I've heard. I don't know if this is
She did some training or
the truth at all.
I mean,
but
I've seen some videos. She's been posting a little bit. Her form actually looks pretty decent. I don't know Dina. I think she was doing some boxing as well. I think I've seen her try it out, but I could not gauge her form.
I don't think that she has experience, but I think Andrea
Definitely
might.
no experience.
So that would make it maybe a fair, but still she could get
But Andrea
clobbered
is
on the board.
smaller, right?
Huh?
Andrea is much smaller, I think, than Dina.
I don't know.
Height-wise.
I've never
Height-wise.
met Andrea. I've
Yeah.
met Dina, but she's not big. I mean,
She's not very tall, yeah?
5'5",
5'5". Yeah. I always had the impression
roughly.
that
I mean,
Andrea-
just estimating.
Andrea is smaller, but maybe because I always see her next to Alexandra.
She's always with Alexandra,
And Alexandra is pretty tall.
and Alexandra is probably like 5'10",
Yeah.
at least, right?
She's close to my height, I think. Yeah.
So
Without
that
high
might,
heels.
yeah, that might skew our perception. I met Dina on multiple occasions, and she's not either tall. She's, I guess, average height more or less,
Mm-hmm.
average weight. But the fight experience is what really
That's
comes
the big
into
one.
like that's the more important thing, right? If let's say they're more or less within the same, they have to be within the same weight category, right?
I think so. They will
But-
have to make weight, both of them. Yeah.
And let's say they're roughly the same.
I don't know
height.
what that weight is going to be. I don't think they announced it. I believe for Aman it's 185, Aman and Lawrence, and for the ladies I have no idea. So I would assume, let's say like 125, 135, something along those lines.
I don't think that they're 135. I would guess they're under 130.
Less than that, no?
I would guess. I would guess even under 120, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
But
we're going to
that should be interesting. I mean, that's like the chess skill is such a big difference that the boxing skill has to be a big difference to compensate for it, right? Otherwise, it won't be an interesting bout.
Yeah, so boxing, definitely we give it to Andrea. Speculating here because we don't have a lot of information. Definitely give it to Andrea. Chess-wise, definitely giving that to Dina. And I actually think that she just posted she got her visa. So she's going to be there. That's good.
But
Excellent.
overall, I'm giving Dina the edge here because
You want you
like she's not going to get
Dina.
knocked out. That's unlikely.
Yeah, that's true.
So the chess really might play a bigger role.
But actually, how do they do it? So let's say they finish the 3 rounds, nobody gets knocked out, and they finish the 3 rounds of chess, but there's no result. How do they?
There's no result. Don't
Yeah.
they have to finish a chess game?
Do they have to finish the chess
I
game?
mean, otherwise there's no
I guess they have
like
to
you
finish
can't
the chess game.
you can't really adjudicate a chess game,
Ooh.
right?
So if they have to finish the chess game, yeah, I have to go with Dina also.
Yeah. Well, again, we're like talking about chess boxing without knowing the rules of chess boxing. But I thought they have to finish the chess game, otherwise, well, or knockout,
Yeah,
right?
it makes sense. Knockout or finish the game. Yeah.
That's what I would assume. Otherwise, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Because let's say you have a position, are you going to adjudicate it by like engine evaluation, like at which?
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, it would feel a bit anticlimactic and not really like a serious sport. If you're adjudicating a game before it finishes.
Cool. So your official prediction is you take Dina. I take Dina as well on in the ladies match, and in the main event I will take Lawrence, and
I'm also taking Lawrence.
you're taking Lawrence.
Yeah.
I feel bad. One of us should give it to Aman. But okay.
I mean, we're trying to be objective, right? Well, from what we've seen from the boxing, it seems like Lawrence is a better fighter.
But then again, it all comes down to will Lawrence be able to actually knock out Aman? I don't think so. And if Aman wins on the board, so it's almost also coming
Yeah,
down to the chess situation.
Don't really know the rules enough, but
Let's say it's just knockdown or like knockout
to me, their chess skills are close enough
and
that,
finish the chess game.
like, if someone wins but doesn't get knocked out but gets like severely hurt,
I don't think it matters. If the game is over in a win for one of the sides, I think that finishes the match.
yeah, I don't know. We should probably learn about chess
All right,
boxing.
chess boxing. Let's assume those are the rules. You give it You know what? You give it to Lawrence, I'll give it to Aman. I'll take
Okay.
the other side on this one.
It's a close one. It's a very close decision. Hard to
Dina,
say.
that's pretty much unanimous. And then I go with Aman just because I think he's going to take Lawrence down in the chess section, and you take Lawrence just because you think he's a better
But you
boxer.
know, maybe like Andrea has that energy,
She does.
that like crazy energy,
Yeah.
and maybe it'll be like a quick knockout. She just goes for
No way. No way.
for
Doesn't
1,
have
2,
the power. Come on.
and then it's over. It's lights out. Maybe.
She doesn't have the power to finish her off. No way. All right, we'll move on from chess boxing for the moment. What else has been happening in chess world? Meltwater Championship happening in San Francisco.
Yeah, it's ongoing.
That's a fun event.
Ongoing, yeah.
Yeah.
Magnus won all his matches so far. We're speaking about this after the 3 rounds. 3 matches have been played. 4th match ongoing. 4th day of it. Magnus won all his matches. Duda won all his matches.
And Magnus already actually won the whole tour.
Yeah, it makes the event rather, like, is it so interesting anymore when you know Magnus has won and he continues to like, mop up in every single match. He beat Anish, he beat Erigaisi, Arjun, he beat Mamedyarov.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well in that one. Mamedyarov is struggling. I think he lost 3-0 against Magnus. And then he also lost pretty badly against, was it against Duda?
He won 1 match. He won his first match. I can't remember against who.
Let's take a look.
He lost 2 matches. This I remember. He lost the second and third.
He lost the second and third, yeah?
I think one was to Lekwang Liam.
Yeah. Yeah, in the third one, he lost against Magnus. That was pretty bad. In the second one, he actually lost against Duda. And the first one, he won against Pragnananda.
Okay. Pragnananda is an interesting. His matches are all very, very tight.
2.5, 1.5, he
Yeah.
lost against Mamedyarov. After that, he...
No, against Giri, he had a 2-0 lead against Giri.
Yes.
And he loses 0-2. Giri wins 2 games on demand to tie the match, take it into a blitz tiebreaker, where
Which he wins.
he beats him quite narrowly. 1.5 half, but Giri was in some danger in the second game, where it was like outcolored bishops, but Giri had no time, so you could feel that there was some danger there.
Yeah. And then in third one, Pragnananda actually beats Lekwang Liam 3-0.
Yeah, he destroyed. I mean, this was amazing. 3-0 against Lekwang Liam. It's a remarkable result.
So Lekwang is struggling in this event. Magnus dominating.
Magnus and Duda so far
doing
dominant.
really well. And actually, he had an amazing game. I think it was yesterday against Anish. It was this complete crazy sacrifice, rook to g7, and like a checkmating path that went on for like 11 moves or something like that.
Yeah, it was rook g7. I think white was winning in many ways, but it's a force mate. Rook g7 and
It's
very
so
beautiful.
nice.
You sack the rook, then you sack the queen,
Yeah.
and also you kind of sack the knight on g4, so you basically end up down a rook and queen, but
you
with
sack,
a
you sack everything. Yeah, and if the king goes to g4, you go h3
king
checkmate.
g4, h3 is mate, and if
So
the king goes
nice.
back to g6, rook e5. It doesn't look like a mating net somehow. It doesn't look like white's pieces are coordinated enough to checkmate, but it's a forced checkmate. Black can't block this diagonal in any meaningful way. And going back, yeah, you get
King f7,
rook
rook
e7,
e7, king g8,
knight
knight
h6,
h6,
and rook h7, and
rook
checkmate.
h7. It's so nice.
Yeah, it's very beautiful and very unusual, because the pawn in f6 is so crucial to the attack. It holds everything together. Holds the rook on e7, stops king g7, all sorts of things.
Yeah, I really love that game. So the standings right now are looking as follows. It's Magnus, 3 victories, 9 match points. Jan Krzysztof Duda, 9 match points. And then Anish, Lekwang, and Pragnananda with 4 match points, which I'm not 100% sure why. I guess because Pragnananda lost with Giri in the tiebreaks. So he gets 1 point from that and 1 against Lekwang. Shakhriyar struggling, but 3 points. Wesley with 3 points, struggling a little bit. Wesley.
Yeah,
as well.
Wesley lost 2 matches.
And Arjun Erigaisi.
Arjun is struggling quite a lot.
And that's good news for you, actually.
Okay, I don't. Yeah, I mean, okay. So what you're talking about is the Speed Chess Championship is starting soon. I play Arjun Erigaisi in the first match
Yeah.
in the round of, I guess it's 16, right?
Yes. In fact, let me
And-
just pull up.
But format is so different. I don't know. I don't know if his result here has any relevance on how he'll play against me. I mean, he's a very tough opponent, but yeah, I mean, everyone is tough in this field.
Actually, let's speak about that a little bit because that's such a nice bracket. Hikaru, and let's actually try to analyze. We'll give our prediction for how the bracket is going to play out. Hikaru versus David Paravian.
Okay, Hikaru is like 95%, I guess.
Huge favorite.
Very, very big favorite, yeah.
Likely to advance against one of Levon Aronian or Dmitry Andreikin.
50-50.
50-50. I see
Yeah,
Andreikin
pure
taking this
50-50.
one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either way because Levon can come out and
It's a
play
very close one.
super powerful chess. Like Levon's upper level is higher. He's objectively a stronger player than Andreikin. But Andreikin will have that consistency once they're very, very low on time. He's very good low on time. So if Levon has a bad day, he could get crushed. If he has a good day, he could crush. We might see something more, more likely to be in the middle where it's a tight match. But yeah, for me, it's a 50-50 matchup.
Yeah. But
And then Hikaru against either of them is a favorite.
so Hikaru versus Hikaru, I will say versus Andreikin, you will say 50-50. Definitely Hikaru a favorite to advance after that one.
But
Let's
I think Hikaru against Levon could get dangerous for Hikaru because he could get outplayed if Levon's in good shape.
Yeah.
Like Levon has that upper level which is very high. While Hikaru and Draken is very likely Hikaru advances as well.
And Levon actually beat Hikaru quite a few times in classical chess. I think Hikaru had quite some difficulties playing against him. Ding Ren versus Grishchuk. That's an interesting one.
Small edge to Ding, small one, 55-45.
Yeah, I'll give that to Grishchuk. But I haven't seen him play much. I think that's going to be a problem for him.
I don't think he likes online chess as much.
No.
He's a very good speed chess player, but online chess doesn't suit him as much as over the board. That's my feeling.
It feels like that. I agree with that.
Still, with a player of his class, he's capable of beating anyone.
Cool.
And Ding, who knows, his time zone could play a role. You never know.
His internet connection.
His
time
internet
zone.
connection, yeah. He has some instability with those factors.
Nihal versus Anish. That's an interesting one. They have some history. They just competed in the CGC, and actually Nihal took him down in that Armageddon. Was it
like-
Armageddon? Yes, it was
he
Armageddon.
won Armageddon very close. Rook endgame, which was a draw, but
2 versus 1. Yeah.
2 against 1. I would say 60-40 Nihal. Maybe a bit more than that, but I wouldn't underestimate Anish, but Nihal basically was tied. Last time he advanced to the semifinal against Wesley, and it was like a 15-13 match decision. The final score was that, which is so close against Wesley, who I would say as an online player is among the best and better than Anish in these formats. So Nihal would give him the edge, but not a huge edge. But okay, 60-40, something around
Nihal,
that
yeah?
seems fair, yeah.
I give Anish the edge on this one. And then I think we're going to see Anish advance all the way to the finals of that bracket, that side of the bracket.
You think Anish is going to go through Nihal and either Ding or Grishu?
Yeah.
That's a very bold prediction, but it's
And I think he's
possible.
going to lose against Hikaru, and Hikaru is going to advance to the finals. And now we're getting into the second part of the bracket, which is quite interesting. Magnus versus Gukesh.
99% Magnus?
99%. Well, Fabiano versus Arjun, that's a good one.
No offense, but Magnus against Gukesh, it would take an internet blackout normally for him to lose.
How many rounds do they play, by the way? How many rounds do you guys play?
So it's 90 minutes, 5 minute with 1 second, 60 minutes, 3 minute with 1 second, and 30 minute, 1 minute with 1 second.
That's a super long event.
It's
That's like 3 hours.
3 hour matches, yeah, that's the usual.
Holy smokes.
So, yeah, you don't really have accidents. Whoever's playing better that day is the winner. And Magnus has been so good in these events. He has the consistency, while Gukesh doesn't really like online chess. I heard that he doesn't enjoy playing online
doesn't like
chess.
it, huh?
He focuses more on over-the-board chess. So those factors combined, I would say this is a really, really really favorable matchup for Magnus.
Definitely a big favorite in that one. And then I think I'm going to take this guy Fabiano.
I mean, you don't have to say because I'm here. But I won't comment, on my match.
Well, I will. I think you have a pretty decent edge. Definitely with Arjun struggling right now in the Meltwater. So that's a big one. And then that could set up a nice match between you and Magnus.
I mean, if I get past Arjun, then I'll just say that I will enjoy the match against Magnus. Like, it's an interesting challenge. It's very difficult, of course. I mean, nobody will claim I'm not the underdog. Like, that's pretty clear. But it's still a fun challenge.
Last match between you and Magnus was in Norway, I think, in Chess 960. Haven't played a match against him since, right?
Match? No. So I played online.
Yeah.
And during the pandemic, I played a match.
Oh, you did?
The clutch chess. It was like a different format because some games were weighted more than others. It ended. I mean, I just had to draw the final game to win the match. It was quite heartbreaking. I lost the final game, and he took the match. It was a clutch game. I was up 2 points, and the final game was worth 3 points, and he won the clutch game. Well, and took the final. It was the final of the thing. So yeah, that was the last time that we played a match.
Good one to get some revenge for that one. But first, you have to pass through Arjun, who is definitely no pushover. So that's going to be a big one. Look, these matches are all super fun.
No, Arjun is really good.
Wesley versus Nodirbek.
Wesley, solid favorite. I mean, 70-30, I would say.
Okay. Jan versus MVL.
Pure 50-50. Like, this is the closest that you could get, yeah. Two guys who are both really good. Could have their shaky days, but at their best. Maxime beat Magnus last time, that's all you need to... Not last time, but like 2019, he beat Magnus, I think. Obviously, Jan is
Maxime is good. Maxime is definitely
is very good. He could have off days, though. Like last time, I knocked him out in the last year's edition of this. And so he had an off day that time. Jan, of course, also very good.
We haven't seen Jan in a while. I don't know. It all feels like so much time has passed, but it actually hasn't. I mean, it hasn't been much since Singfield. How many months has it been? Like a month and a half? Something like that?
I guess a bit more.
Yeah, so it just feels like a lifetime since I've seen Nepo compete. But
well, he played the Fisher Random. He lost to Nakamura in the final. So he actually got to the final, and he was like a step away from becoming the Fisher Random World Champion because he just had to draw a position with Black where he was slightly better, and it equalized on the clock. It was very close to him winning that tournament.
There's a big change in MVL's team. He just posted actually on his blog that he cut his cooperation with Etienne. Bacro for like 7 years. I think they were working together. 2015 since 2015. How do you think that's going to impact him? He said that he's already working with a group of other players in a different format or like a different setting, and he was mentioning that he's getting used to that setting. It's an interesting, very interesting blog post, I have to say.
I haven't read it. Yeah, I don't know. Like he's, I guess, good friends with Etienne. They've worked for a long time. I don't know his new team of people. It's always different to change from working with one person to a team of people. Has its pluses and minuses, You have to manage a lot of people. It's a bit more stress. Takes a bit more energy. On the other hand, they can provide more valuable work that you can use. I'm a bit surprised they stopped working because they were working for such a long period of time.
Good friends, I think, also.
Yeah, like it seemed more like a friendship type of working thing. Not like he's hiring a trainer. Of course, I'm sure it was also a professional thing, but like it's good to work with someone that you're friends with. I mean, it's just a good to have that trust. And but we'll see. Maybe he wanted to change some things because his results have been a bit up and down, and some definitely disappointments in terms of his FIDE rating dropping quite a bit for him.
It's like 27-40 nowadays, right?
Maybe he needed a change for that.
Yeah. That's going to be a very interesting one for sure. So I'll take Wesley against Nodirbek. You take Wesley as well. Let's try to put together this bracket side also. Nepo versus MVL. I'll give it to MVL on that day. So let's see a big clash between Wesley and MVL in my view. You said 50-50, right, on between Jan and MVL?
Yeah, I would say.
Who do you think advances from Wesley or either Jan and MVL?
Wesley should be a slight favorite. He's very good at these formats. I know chess.com stats have his accuracy higher than most others. Like I think second only to Magnus in terms of accuracy. But accuracy, it's a metric which you know, engine accuracy, it doesn't always translate to success in a game, right?
That's true.
Because some moves have more weight on them than others. But still, he's very good. He's been successful in these formats. I don't think he's won one of these, but he's gotten to the final more than once. Last time he got to the final against Hikaru, Hikaru beat him, I think, pretty handily, but still, he got to the final. So against most of the field, I would pick Wesley as a favorite, except against Magnus, Hikaru, obviously. I think in both those cases, he would be a heavy underdog. Mm-hmm. And I would say maybe Ding would be a toss-up between him and Ding. And other matches are, of course, close. Like, you know, we're talking maybe 55-45, but slight edge to Wesley against guys like Jan, Maxime.
So Wesley
Levon.
makes it to the finals of that side of the bracket. You make it, you take Wesley down, and then big clash with Hikaru in the finals. That's our prediction. Is that official? Is that our official prediction?
I mean,
we have to.
I have no prediction on my own player. You know.
There we go. That's the official prediction. All right. Very, very fun event. I'm really looking forward to that one. Always the matches. I mean, 3 hours of super competitive chess, and it's always nice to see these clashes. What's next? I mean, we have some updates in the Niemann versus Magnus case. I haven't been following that, but you said you followed some of the updates. What happened?
Yeah, it's so. First of all, Vichy gave an interview where he said that he didn't see any irregularities in Hans Niemann's play.
People have said that Niemann is cheating. So this is how the thing started. And then it hit me, oh, they're actually accusing him of cheating. And do they have any proof? Because once again, the moves didn't say anything to me. I don't know, am I naive or my colleagues paranoid?
He looked at the games, they looked like normal games. He didn't even think of cheating until people started saying the word cheating. And then he said, maybe I'm naive or maybe my colleagues are paranoid, which is definitely a possibility that there's some paranoia going around. I think we've said as much that it's not, it's very easy to get caught up in the suspicions and tip over the edge into paranoia. Mm-hmm. It's not difficult. I know that from personal experience, and I don't know if we're talking about that in this case. I mean, obviously there is some smoke and potentially some fire with Hans. You know, he has admitted as much, right? He has said that in the past he did cheat in some games when he was younger, and obviously that makes us a bit more naturally suspicious. Mm-hmm. What Vichy said, he didn't see anything from the games. It's kind of what I also thought, that from the Singfield Cup, I didn't see anything in the games that was like...
Yeah, he said one thing that is that the moves didn't say anything to me in terms of cheating.
From the Singfield Cup, especially, I would agree. Yeah, I didn't see anything from the Singfield Cup. But if we're talking online chess and all the chess that Hans has played, then of course, I don't think Vichy has checked every single game.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm too trusting, or maybe I've just gotten to the habit of what I cannot prove is better to keep your mouth shut. You know, that sort of approach. Because with computer assistance, there will be no smoking gun. I mean, you're not going to catch someone at the scene of the crime. You'll have to some degree, just take your gut feeling.
Yeah, I think this is barring a major accident, a cheater who...
Like Nigalice, yeah? That got caught with his phone in the bathroom stall.
Yeah, with the bare minimum of care and nuance, and not being like a very blatant, phone in the bathroom type Rousis or Nigalice type cheater, then you're not going to get a smoking gun, as Vichy said, you either have your intuition or statistical evidence to fall back on, and statistical intuition we can't lend much value to. Although, like, maybe you give it personal value, right? You trust your intuition, but the outside world can't. And statistical evidence we can give value to, but how much we trust it, and since different sources have different, let's say, thresholds of evidence and different ways of measuring the data, then it's also hard to say. Like, you know, chess.com has their system, Chess24 has their system,
Chess has their own
and,
system.
Ken Reagan, FIDE have their system.
Yep.
So this is true. It's very, very difficult. I think that the whole Niemann case highlighted our difficulty in catching cheaters with great accuracy.
Yep.
And also in terms of like what constitutes evidence and what constitutes a false allegation, right? Like we're really on a fine line here between reasonable suspicion and false allegation. It's very, very close. So still some difficult questions to answer there, which Vichy highlighted.
And you mentioned that there were some updates in the case. What were those updates? I think something about jurisdiction.
Yeah, so I think that before we even get into the meat of the lawsuit, you know, the actual merit of the lawsuit, they kind of
Is being challenged.
they messed up a bit with the procedural part of it, which is with the jurisdiction they called. They said that Magnus is a resident of Norway, and for this like diversity jurisdiction, the language has to say that he's a citizen of Norway. I think he has now a week to correct that, or his lawyers have a week to correct that mistake, which I guess will be done, and then we'll. But yeah, it's like all this boring legal stuff. Now it'll
So nothing actually big happened.
Nothing really happened. I think also Play Magnus Group basically delayed the whole process and made it a bit harder on Niemann and his lawyers.
Yeah.
They just with some.
Norway has objected to service by mail under the Hague Convention. So Play Magnus looks to be making things a bit hard on Niemann, it seems like.
Yeah, it looks like just some extra money and extra headache for Niemann's side. Which I guess it's their right, you know, they're getting sued, they have the right to...
It has to be done, why not? I like it.
So now we'll see like nothing happen for a while, and then some small update again after some time.
Yeah. And speaking of Hans, actually he's leading the American team going into this World Team Championship, which is actually quite a fun format. I was looking through the press releases, and it seems like there's 12 teams, 2 groups, rapid chess, and it seems like there's going to be finals, semifinals, like some sort of a bracket later on, which is quite fun.
Wait, can you show the list of teams again?
Yes.
Go
I'll show you
through
the teams exactly. Which ones are you interested?
Well,
so
we had the flags up there, right?
Let's talk about USA. John Donaldson is the captain. Hans, leading team, Bruzon. Second, board, Alexander Onishchuk. Third, and Akobian and Quesada. Unieski, Quesada, Perez.
Yeah.
Quite an interesting team, actually.
Strong team, but a lot of the players are semi-retired. That's the thing. Like, Alexander Onishchuk is mostly coaching these days. Coach of a university team, right?
He's a Texas Tech coach, Texas Tech University coach. I actually saw him last night.
Yeah, no, I mean he's still very good. He has the class, but he's not full professional. The same, I think, with Var. I mean, he's still very good, but he's more into coaching than playing these days.
Mostly coaching, also a coach of St. Louis University.
Lazaro Bruzon is also not fully professional. I think he's going to university, right? Is that correct?
He finished.
He finished, okay.
He went to Webster. So both Bruzon and Quesada, actually Quesada is still going to Webster. Bruzon has just finished and I think perhaps graduated. He's not on their team anymore. But he's been training a lot obviously with Le Huang and the coach at Webster and everybody else at Webster. They have this tight group that meets and trains quite regularly. So that's, yeah, Bruzone is a good player, very, very good player. He used to be a huge prodigy coming out of Cuba. I think he was 27 plus when he was super young, and then he had some problems and dropped in level and rating. But still, extremely, extremely dangerous. What strikes?
No, I mean, it's a good team, but you have to compare it to the other teams because we don't know what
exactly.
we're working with.
And actually, what struck me as odd was I was looking at the team of Uzbekistan, the Olympic champions. Same team, same captain, Sokolov, but no Abdusatorov, no board one.
Maybe it's just not interesting for him. So we have
Yakuboev, Sindarov, Vohidov, and Abdi Salimov.
I assume we won't. Well, there's like another board, right?
Oh yeah, there's also Nigmatov.
So they have two reserves, but
I haven't heard of these guys. Nigmatov, I think I've heard of Abdi Malik, Abdi Salimov, but not Nigmatov.
I mean, it's again a young, strong team. But yeah, Abdusatorov was a good first board for them. So
Huge for sports. Huge miss, yeah.
I mean, Uzbekistan, they are the Olympic champions.
Yeah.
But still, they're a young team. They could be rather inconsistent. Wouldn't be surprising either. But still,
Good team, good
team,
captain.
Good team for sure.
South Africa probably.
Yeah. South Africa doesn't have a reserve and rather heavy underdogs
Yes.
against the rest of the teams.
Let's see who else. Oh, India. Let's see who India is coming with. Okay, Vaibhav as a captain. Suri Vaibhav, 26 plus. Vidit. Okay, Vidit spearheading the team. That's
They did
nice.
very, very good, and around 27-30 now, I think, right?
SL Narayanan.
Good. Nihal,
Sarin Nihal and Sasikiran,
very good team.
as well as Seturaman. Okay, Seturaman is
And Gupta, but I guess Gupta will not play
played a few games
as much. But yeah, it's also a very good team. They might be one of the favorites, in fact. Although this team of France that you have is very strong looking.
but no
Maxime-
Firuja.
Yeah, no Fruja, but Maxime and
MBL,
Jules.
Moussard,
And by the way,
Fresnel,
since it's rapid, like Maxime and Jules are also,
specialists.
yeah, they're very well trained and very good in rapid. And also, Laurent Fresnel, he's not as much of a professional player, but he's a very good rapid player.
He's actually the champion, I think, in Blitz, the current French champion.
Yeah.
Either in Blitz or Rapid.
So
I'm not 100% sure.
France is very good. I mean, they may even be the favorite.
And Lagarde.
It looks
I
like.
mean, Lagarde is very strong also. And Garamian can play as well when in good shape. He used to be extremely, extremely good. Nowadays, maybe not as active. Pretty decent team. Netherlands. Anish, Jordan, Lucas Van Forest, Warmerdan, and Rabi Kevlishvili.
Okay, I mean, Anish and Jordan, very good. Lucas, don't know him so well as a player. Max, I think, is around 2600. Robbie,
Very decent 2600. Also, Lucas is a very decent player.
yeah, it's a good team. It's a very good team.
And Robbie is a student at SLU. He's not that active. I would assume he's not going to play as many matches, but still a very dangerous guy. 25-30, 25-40. He can definitely play rapid. I would say he's much better in rapid than in classical chess.
Yeah, this might be a very good rapid team. Although Jordan, I'm not sure if he likes rapid as much as classical, because I think he's very successful in classical these days. Also, he's very good theoretically, very, very strong theoretician. Lucas is one of those like wild players, right? Mm-hmm. Wild openings and.
But he knows his openings. I've watched some of his games. He definitely studies. And one thing that I think about Lucas is he's very motivated to reach 2600 in classical chess. I think that's one of his main goals. So I would assume that translates to a lot of work, and which is probably going to be very good for his chess. China. China is bringing a team. I did not expect that.
Yeah, China is bringing like their D team. I mean, no offense, of course, but like they're missing Ding, Yu Yangyi, They're missing Bu.
Kanji, yeah.
They're missing Li Chao.
Wei.
Wei. Like most of their best players, they're missing. It doesn't feel like
Hui Fan also missing.
as quite as strong as the other teams that we saw.
But still 2600s all around. Su Xiang Yu, Bai Junxi, Lu Shanglei, and Li Di, they're all 2600. Very decent guys. I probably completely butchered those names. All right, Ukraine. What do we have here? Kovalenko. Kovalenko, really? Wow.
So he was playing for Latvia, but went to Ukraine, right?
Well, I know he's actually fighting in the war right now.
He is currently
He's fighting in the war.
Fighting.
He's fighting in the war. He's been posting a lot on Facebook. He's been on duty, and actually he went to the emergency room recently. So I'm very surprised that he's actually going to play this one. Ivanchuk obviously hasn't been fighting, but he's been staying in Ukraine. So definitely, yeah. And I think obviously what's happening right now, the situation is going to be very detrimental to overall their performance. But it could also motivate them a lot. So this is a very intriguing team, I would say.
Because a lot of, even if they're not themselves in Ukraine, for sure, they have many friends there, family.
Yeah, that can affect you.
I know that...
that will affect you for sure.
Yeah, that Shevchenko is playing very successfully recently. He's there, is that board 4?
Board 4.
Also, he's like very good in his fast time controls. That's one of his main strengths compared to classical. It seems he's even more successful at blitz. And I don't know about rapid, but at least at blitz, very successful.
And huge fighter. Yeah, he has that fighter's spirit.
So it's a good team, but not as strong as the others, I would say. But a very good team for sure.
Poland. All right, who do we have? Wojtaszek, Bartel, Piorun, Sochko, Simon Gumulars, and Igor Janik. So no Duda for Poland.
Yeah, that's of course a downside for them that they don't have Duda, because he's the strongest player by far in their in their country. Okay, Radoslav is very solid, very experienced. The other guys are good, but it still feels like not as strong as, let's say, France or Netherlands, right?
Yeah, no. From what I'm seeing right now, it just feels like France or...
Netherlands also, I mean...
Netherlands good.
Shouldn't underestimate.
But France, I feel like they should be the favorites, at least going into this one. Wait a minute,
Israel.
Also India. I mean, India is amazing.
Yeah, India as well.
Maxim Ratshain.
Israeli team.
Israel, Tamir Nabati, I haven't seen him play in a very long time. Avital Boruchovsky, 2500, 2550.
He's like 2550, yeah.
2550-ish.
Smirin is around 2600.
Everybody knows Smirin nowadays. He had a brief stint as a commentator in the English language. Evgeny Postny. I haven't seen any of these players play in a very long time. And Ori Kobo.
Yeah, it's a bit of an underdog team.
Yeah. Which
so
is a bit surprising.
France, Netherlands, India, I would say. Those are my three favorites.
Zvidler playing for Israel nowadays? He changed. Zvidler plays for Israel.
Yeah, I heard something about that, but I guess not in time for this event.
Probably he hasn't changed federations, and I think if you don't pay a certain amount of money, which is like a pretty serious amount of money, I think it's like 50,000, and you don't have any special exemptions, then you cannot play for 2 years. So I don't know if he paid. I don't know if the federation paid.
No, probably not, because I guess there was also some tension there, right? But yeah, the situation is very, very tough. I mean, obviously, in real life especially, but also for chess. I mean, chess players who disagree with their government.
Yeah.
As many Russian players do, find themselves without a home as well.
Yeah.
So it's difficult, of course, for all the chess players involved, who are not really affected.
Very, very tricky situation, of course, and I actually have a couple of players on my own team that are going through that. Did we miss anybody? Yes, we did, actually. We missed Spain. All right. David No, David Martinez is the captain. Jamie Santos Latasa, who has been making strides actually rating-wise. He was close to 2,700 recently, 2,690. I think he lost a couple of ratings in
Yeah,
events.
it's kind of funny because we said like we had the favorite, but now like I see
We
the teams that
we still have
didn't
two more
check
teams.
are
Yeah.
like probably two of the favorites. You know, like
Yeah.
Spain is so good.
Jamie Santos Latasa, David Anton, Shirov, and Danil Yufa,
Yeah, he went from Russia to Spain.
as well as Miguel Santos.
Yeah, this team is really good. I mean, like Santos Latasa is a very good rapid player. David Anton is also very good. Shirov on third board, very dangerous third board. Yufa I don't know so well, but I would assume like all these young Russian guys
2580.
that he's quite dangerous and rapid.
guy, yeah.
And but okay, like it seems like the clear favorite is just the team that we didn't mention yet, right?
Yeah.
Azerbaijan is just like so strong. I mean, ridiculous.
Shakhriyar, Rajabov, Mamedov, really good player when it comes to rapid tank controls. Suleimanli, Gusainov, and Asadli.
Yeah, they're also kind of specialists in these time formats. So
Yeah,
yeah, probably Azerbaijan does have to be given as a favorite in this event.
I think so. Big one, Azerbaijan. And the groups look as follows. Group A, China, France, Netherlands, South Africa, Spain, and Ukraine. Group B, Azerbaijan, India, Israel, Poland, United States, and Uzbekistan. So we definitely give Azerbaijan the edge in this one. What else has been happening in chess world? I think we covered a lot of ground. I mean, we covered the lawsuit, things that have happened in that one. Actually, not as many things have happened in that one. The SCC, that's going to be a super fun event. That's going to end in the month of when does that
Sometime in December it'll end.
So that's December, right? November to December. Yeah, dude. I mean,
Yeah, it should be interesting. I mean, yeah, the whole lawsuit thing it started to get boring, right? You know, we had all this action.
it cooled off. It
now-
cooled off for sure. It's so interesting. Once the lawyers get involved, everything just cools off. Nobody wants to talk about it anymore.
No, that was maybe what Hans was also going for, you know, because nobody could talk about the situation. Maybe he was getting annoyed because people were talking a lot about it and also profiting
Yeah.
on it somewhat, you know, creating content which got the views, of course. And now it's a lot of silence. There's not much. So maybe Hans reached his objective in that sense.
Yeah, definitely we'll be having an eye on that one. Magnus coming back for the SCC, that's a big story as well. And yeah, dude, I mean, fun. What do you have planned for next week? Are we doing anything fun? Oh yeah, I have the collegiate, I have a couple of collegiate events. Collegiate Chess League coming up on Saturday, the finals. Two of my players are potentially, well, Grigory Oparin is qualified to the finals, and then Misha Antipov is playing to qualify to the finals. So that's going to be an interesting one. And then we have the Collegiate Blitz Championship coming up on Sunday. So my weekend is going to be pretty busy. What do you have going on for the weekend? Any good plans? And by the way,
I have to play Ergaisi.
Oh, yeah,
I think it's on the 23rd. I'm not exactly sure. I think that's when the match is scheduled for.
Okay, so that's next Thursday, I think.
Then I'm
Or next Wednesday.
surprisingly going to go to your place.
Oh yeah, you're going to my place, and I'm actually not even going to be there.
To watch your cats. I mean, I got roped into it, you know. No, it'll be fun. It'll be nice, but it'll be a bit weird too.
So we're going to have to do a Thanksgiving special. You will be at my place, and we'll do like a Zoom. We'll do a Zoom podcast. I'll be in Massachusetts. You'll be at my place. We'll set up something.
Yeah, we'll find a way. And besides that, not much. I don't have many plans. Prep a bit for the match against Ergaisi. See how that goes. And I do have something. I can't really talk about it, but something coming up which will be interesting. I'm working towards that. There'll be some content, you know, that I can't really say what it is yet, but at some point
Looking forward to that for sure.
It's a big project.
Huh?
Yeah, big project. A lot of work to do, which should be interesting. Then I guess at some point off to Kazakhstan, World Rapid Blitz.
Yeah, but we'll see each other quite a lot.
We'll talk about that, yeah.
Before that. Excellent. Yeah, comment in the section below if you want to speculate on what the big project is that Fabi is doing. That's going to be an interesting
I don't trust chat to speculate on
ask the chat.
on anything. The
All right.
trolls will come out.
Time for me to get back to Colombia. Time for you to go back to your place, and we'll see everybody in the next week.
Yep.
Cheers, guys.